Testing, testing. Number 9, as some of you know that joke. Good to see everybody here today, old friends and new friends. And it's just great to see that we're getting a good outreach for this, that folks are coming out. This is the first of a series, right? So this is our first time, and we're here to celebrate some of the heroes of the Hoboken Housing Authority. And we expect over time to be inviting more folks. As you guys have ideas, bring folks here and we'll make that happen. I think the fine folks we have here, Ms. LaTrenda Ross, Leo Colon, will be the first members of our Hall of Fame. And we've got some great people in the audience too. Of course, presidents, we all know each other, right? Glad to have you aboard. My staff, we've got Councilman Ramos with us this evening. Councilman, thanks for coming. We've got 3 of our commissioners here. We've got our chairperson, Ms. Reyes. We've got Andrew Pistato. We've got Erica Seitzman here. And thank you all for coming tonight. You know, tonight we thought, as we were speaking about this, we thought that we had so many great people that have grown up and been part of the Hoboken Housing Authority over time. People that have grown up here and gone on to do wonderful things. And the word that kept coming up was the Hoboken Housing Authority heroes. The heroes of our housing authority. And many of you don't know, and I'll bore you with this. I was an English literature major, and that's what my degree's in, with a concentration of study in religion and mythology. So in that study, the idea of the hero would come up all the time. When you talk about stories, when you talk about mythology, when you talk about religion, often you have heroes in those stories. And the hero has some defining characteristics. The hero always is somebody moving along in their life, and all of a sudden a challenge comes their way, right? And they have a choice. They have a choice. Are they going to accept the challenge? Are they going to move or go back home? Or are they going to actually move ahead? Are they going to turn to that resistance, that tough road, and actually take that road? That's their choice. And of course, when they go home, the story's over, right? Well, I got to tell you, the people sitting up here didn't go home. They made the choice to go down that road and make something of themselves and come back then, as a hero does, to the community. A hero always battles and then comes back and teaches, and it somehow does that and grows. And the great thing is, somewhere along the story, the hero dies, right? And what that means is you become a new person. You become somebody you weren't before. When you're a young person, you're 16, you have choices to make, you become a new person. If you decide not to become that new person, you can't give back to the community. And that is what these folks have done, is they have made that choice with, I think, the help and cooperation and the housing of the Hoboken Housing Authority, but they have gone beyond just the everyday folks that go through their life. And that's why we're asking them to become the first members of our Hall of Fame. So again, welcome to all of you all. We want to celebrate our heroes tonight. We want to hear their stories, a bit about their stories and how they got here, and we will continue this celebration. So, Ms. Corinne. By the way, I want to introduce, for those of you that don't know, Ms. Corinne Richmond, who's one of the newest members of our staff. We're so glad to have her. Welcome, Corinne.
Hi, everyone. Well, thank you for coming. And I would like to say thank you again on behalf of all my colleagues and the staff and my ED for your attendance. And thank you to everyone who contributed to make this event a success. This is a great turnout. We were not expecting that, so again, thank you. And this year, the theme for Black History Month is Black Resistance, right? And as we know that in America, the promise of America is not always available or accessible to us, people of race. people of low income, right? But we have seen through history that accounts of Black success is not a myth. We have seen Black success over and over again. And this is what we are trying to showcase here tonight. Tonight, the message is that we are not victims. We are not a victim of the system. We are not the victim of everything that has been put to set us back. And we should not be defined as victims. We should not be depicted as victims. And we should not be portrayed as victims. And if there is a story to tell, we would like it to be a story of resistance, and we would like it to be a story of Black resistance. You know, I grew up in Africa, and every time, and one of the things that I love to do is I love to garden. And every time I was eating something, whether it's a fruit or any type of food, I'll just, from my mouth to the ground, I'll just try to plant it. And one day I decided to plant a mango tree, a mango seed. So I put the seed on the ground, and as a kid, I was probably 10. I kept on watering all the time and became a shrub. But it didn't grow fast enough. So as a year grew by, I lost interest in the tree. And I eventually traveled abroad. I came here and I studied. And I went back when I was 27-year-old. And I had planted that seed in my grandmother's backyard. And as I went back, she pointed out to the tree and she said, "Do you remember that tree?" And I said, "No." She said, "Well, this is a tree that you planted when you were 10-year-old. So tonight, as I reflect on our community, I cannot but remember or associate that story with what we have here. And I know that over the years, maybe the wind blew too much, or we didn't have enough sun, or we didn't have enough water. But the seeds that we have here were able to grow, and they were able to be resilient. You may not remember, but you planted these seeds. And some odd years ago, and tonight, these seeds are here, and these are the fruits that you have tonight. Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce our speakers, Officer Cologne, Officer Huggins, and Coach Latrenda Ross. As we honor them, let's keep in mind that we are seeds, and with proper water and nutrition, we can also bring some fruits. Thank you. So, the first speaker tonight is going to be Tyrone Huggins. Born and raised here in the community, and he's going to share his challenges and successes with you. Thank you.
This ain't gonna take long. I'm not much of a speaker. My name is Officer Huggins. That's like Ms. Corinne just told you guys. Proudly born and raised here in Hoboken Housing Authority. Graduated from Hoboken High School, class of 2005. Through that journey, a little younger than that, I knew I had a vision that I was going to be a police officer. Growing up here in housing, it was a little difficult because, you know, what you see is you see the drug dealer on the corner with the nice car, dressed nice, nice clothes, all that good stuff. And when you see the police officer, you see, you know, ugly car, regular uniform, work hard all day, every day. You think it's much easier to go that way rather than, you know, fast, easy money. A lot of prayer coming from my family. Thank God I got, you know, I was nowhere near perfect growing up. I was like every other child. So like I said, with prayer, you know, I've been a police officer here in Hoboken since 2013. going on 10 years. And that's my journey. Prayer, and it wasn't easy at all. I've had my share of trouble. My grandmother's been here to tell you that. My aunts and cousins and aunties, but just, all I can say is if you want it bad enough, you'll go get it.
Yeah.
And that's all. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, Tyrone. Can we give him another round of applause? And now I'm going to call Officer Leo Colo.
Come on, right?
Good evening, everybody. It's good to see that all you came out here today to support what's going on. Corinne did a great job doing what you do for us as well. Let me first start off, I'm gonna make this short. I'm trying, because we got the lady right there. She can take it over. So, give you a little background on myself. Well, I grew up here when it was the housing projects, right? I know everybody was here a little before me, but in the 80s it was a different story here, right? But what I noticed in the 80s, right, was that everybody had a different respect, right? Now, I'm not saying y'all, but me, grew up poor. So I always counted on my neighbors, like, hey, go up there, go get a cup of sugar, right? Or go over there, go get something else, you know what I mean? And my neighbors always gave. And if they had the last of it, they gave. And nobody argued. But the thing is, come to this new era, is like, it's not a lot of respect. You know, it was bad in the 80s, but everybody had respect. You know, you saw somebody's mother with some groceries, let me get that, I'll help you. You saw a lady walking across the street, you was drinking or something, you saw somebody, put it away. You know, with all this said. But I grew up a little hard. I wasn't that nice of a person growing up. I played with Councilman Ruben Ramos there. We played on the first Little League team, 1986, to ever win the sectional championship with Mr. Ruben Ramos, my second baseman. After that, how do I say, I wandered off, started transferring back and forth from school because when I was playing with Ruben, my father died, and that was in '86, and that was the worst day of my life. I saw everybody had fathers, everybody had mothers, you know, going to the game. But I got to give it to Ruben. His father was there for everybody. You got to keep it 100. And it was bad, you know. But you know my mother. Everybody know my mother, Mildred. You know, all right. She's always out the window smoking the cigarettes. She's not supposed to. I said, don't complain. You're not supposed to do that. Put that out there, right? So I grew up with my mother, and you know, it was hard. It was real hard. It was. You're gonna do what I say. If you don't like it, you're gonna have to go on the street. And I guess that would mold me a little bit. But I had a little grandfather that was a preacher, and like Tyrone was saying, he was always praying for me. You know what I mean? And then I had coaches like Dominic Lucignano, who I consider like a father to me. He was the cop that told me, you know, when stuff was getting all crazy, he's like, I had a dream they killed you. You gotta get out of here. So everything plays out for a reason, you know. I got into trouble, I like to fight. And then it was go to the Marines. Went to school a little bit. School didn't pan out that much, you know. Played baseball for Hoboken High. I'm a graduate from Hoboken High School. And I went to Uppsala College. I went to Miami-Dade, but you know, it is what it is. I didn't accomplish what I needed to. But I think I accomplished other things I need to do. Is that I will not have, while I'm in uniform or while I'm not in uniform, somebody disrespect somebody that's an elder in the projects. Wherever it is, You're not gonna do that when I'm working. And if I'm walking the street without a uniform, you're not. Because these are the people that paved the way for all of us, right?
Amen.
And another thing is, like I said, I went through a lot of trials and tribulations. You know, I came out of the Marines. It was crazy how everything was going. I came out of the Marines, I couldn't even get a job. But when you go to the Marine Corps, right, you're gonna learn something. Whatever you do, you're gonna be proud of doing. So what did I do? I worked in a Lagro garbage company. And that was everybody knows him, Mr. Gonzalez, right? Macho's father lives down there, the Gonzalez. He said, Leo, you don't look nice, you gotta go get a job. Guess what? That man got me a job and I was working in a garbage company. Then after that, situations came, Ruth, Chris, Memo, all of them. They were like, yo, you gotta do something. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Then I became a special. And it was crazy how I got hired and all that stuff. But I owe those guys a lot too, because they had trust in me. They said, the kid can go to the Marine Corps and get out of there and get an honorable discharge. He could do something better in life, right? But just remember, I was sweeping outside of the Lagros when this happened. I said, what are you gonna do with yourself? I said, I put an application. Nobody wants to give me a job. So I was like, whatever. And then in 2002, I became a Hoboken police officer, right? When I came there, it was a struggle, you know? But I came on in 2002. That's how my life began. And, you know, I patrolled the street. I patrolled the housing projects. I make sure that people were safe in the buildings. And it's like, it's just a change of everything, you know what I mean? We got great people here.
Yes.
Sometimes people, how do you say it? Like, I'm old school. I remember Sadie. Sadie always had the house open for food. He would feed everybody, like everybody else in here. I know they would. But like I said, you know, it was a hard coming up. The Marines, remember the Marines? They did what they had to do. That's why, you know, they changed a little. You changed back then. They got a lot of rules and regulations now. I think you get a timeout card now. That's not it. But again, I came here, I was housing for a while, worked at a street crimes unit. I was the first Puerto Rican mounted horse in the history of the Hoboken Police Department when I rode horses. Oh, you see that there? Funny thing about it, that horse just died last year. His name was Spirit. He was old enough, but he was a good horse. That was the first day we used a 1958 jacket. And George Biscopo says, we want to ride like they used to ride. And you can see we only wore a hat. And I was nervous as daylight, because we're supposed to put on. But after that, I became, you know, a lot connected with the kids. Schools, I was a school resource officer for a while. And then, you know, during my term, you know, worked midnights a lot. Came here, and now I'm on days, you know, they know I'm old. So now, after 22 years, they got me working days. But guess where I'm at? Down here. But I love it, because you know why? I can say that. I love it. The thing is, I try to tell all these cops, and he's a blessing, because I remember him when he was by 400. He said, Lee, I'm gonna be a cop one day. I was like, boy, you better lose some weight. I was like, you a little chunky. I was like, you better lose some weight. And God bless him. Guess where he's at? And just not to stay off him, Tyrone's got a great heart.
Yes.
You know, I'm proud of him.
Yes.
I tell him that all the time. You know, from where we come and where we at. He's a great father. He's a great son, and he's a great friend.
Yes.
That's why I am proud to share this moment with him as well. Right? But like everything else, might come to the end where, you know, I say, you know, you give it up a little bit, not doing it, but I know he's taught right. He knows what to do. He worked under me. He knows how to treat people. He knows how to treat the family. He knows how to talk to people. You know what I mean? That's something very rare, right? That you see kids from the housing projects talk better to people than other cops. It's like you gotta have a compassion, right? And I was just talking to somebody back in the day. He was just, conversation. You know how conversation come up. I didn't know there was no other Spanish culture when I grew up in the housing projects. I thought everybody was Puerto Rican. Because if you talk Spanish, Puerto Rican. And then we had, the Afro Americans. They talk Spanish too. So I was like, hey, everybody's here Spanish. I never knew there was such thing as, in the 80s, we never asked nobody if you're Cuban, you're Dominican. I was like, he's Spanish. Well, hey, he's my friend too. We both got the same problem. We live here, right? But again, I'm proud. I'm also humbled to be here with all these people here. You guys do make a difference, especially in my life. Like that gentleman over there, I talk to him all the time. Talk about when his father used to have the crab legs. Over there at Bus, great man. Mr. Braxton over there, great man. You got Happy over there, my man too. I know him since I'm a little kid when my father worked with him in the boiler room in the 80s, boiler. But like I said, and Miss Prado, I'll never forget you. Like other things is, I love everybody. I hope everybody has a great night. I hope this can be done a little more, right? But this is just an example that I say, and I appreciate all of you. Whether you don't know me, you know me, but I appreciate all of you, and we're gonna try to have a little better dialect with you guys. Make sure, that if you need something, we can help you, we'll help you. Well, Tyrone's gonna be here a little longer than me, but I might be gone. But like I said, it's a pleasure working here. I don't have no problem. Like, me and Tyrone, we're the only one that volunteer. We work down there. We do whatever you need. It's all right. And at the end of the day, I'm what I am because of you. I thank you all. God bless you all. And keep me, Tyrone, all of us in prayer like always, right? But thank you all. God bless you and have a good night.
Thank you, Leo. It takes a village to raise a kids. So thank you very much. And I also want to thank Tyrone again because he stepped in at the very last minute. One of our speakers for tonight was sick, and I just gave him a call and he said he would do it. So this is something remarkable. Well, thank you, Tyrone. Our next speaker is Latrina Ross, and she's a life coach, and I would like us to welcome her, and see what she has to say.
Good evening, everyone. It's so good to be back here at home, Hoboken Housing Authority. I miss my home. I left 2.5 years ago. I'm in Jersey City right now. But Hoboken is my home. Doesn't matter if I'm in Jersey City, but I was raised here in Hoboken for 43 years. And it was a shock when I left. But it's okay, because we gotta move on. We can't stay stuck in everything that we do. Change is gonna happen, regardless if we like it or not. So, before I get my story started, when you hear the word, I am the Olympian of my life, whoever got a piece of paper, I want you to recite after me. So I'm gonna start it off. I am the Olympian of my life. Somebody.
I will not let my fear hold me back.
Thank you. Now when you say that, I want you to say it with full force so everybody can hear you. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Great. I gotta put my glasses on because I'm getting deeper down there. Okay. I want everybody to think about these questions. How can I become the best me possible? How can I harness the power of my passion for greatness? What else can I do to create excellence in my life? You see, I am the Olympian of my life. Somebody say something.
I will not let other people's negativity bring me down.
Thank you. You see, I was at a crossroads. I knew that if I didn't change something, if I wasn't able to become a better version of myself, I would never be able to help anyone else. A lot of you in here don't know the story about Latrenda, but you're going to learn tonight. I'm going to tell you. You see, about 28 years ago, first of all, I'm a recovering addict, okay? So I've been in recovery for 28 years, okay? You can't tell your story without telling the truth. It doesn't work like that, okay? So the truth is, yes, I am a recovering addict. I lived here in the Hoboken Housing Authority. I believe I was at 320 Jackson Street. And that's where all my problems started, okay? I went into rehab. My family was very, very supportive of me. I had a lot of family, a lot of friends. Even some of you in here were praying for me. Yes. And I came out of that. You see, God will work in your life if you allow Him in it.
That's right.
If you trust Him and believe in Him, He will work it through. And prayers work. If you gather 2 or 3 or more, prayers work. It will save you. It will save that person. I am the Olympian of my life. Somebody, because I gave 10 of them out.
I know the challenge that I face.
Thank you. You see, I was ready to make a change, but first I needed to know what change would look like. And by making that change of becoming drug-free, technically, basically alcohol-free, stop smoking cigarettes, marijuana, cocaine, and all of that stuff, I began to see what life meant. I began to understand what change meant. I began to understand that love, everybody loves me that I know of. And my family was there to stick with me. I am the Olympian of my life. Somebody.
I will not be satisfied in my comfort zone and try something new.
So what does it mean to be an Olympian in your life? What does it mean to be an Olympian? Can somebody answer that question for me? What does it mean to be an Olympian?
To be a champion.
I can't hear you.
To be a champion.
Oh, I really can't hear you.
To be a champion.
Thank you. See, when we say that, we have to say it to believe it, so that people will hear it and understand who we are. You see, when we think about being Olympian, we picture ourselves on a podium, you know, getting our little awards and having a little ceremonies and things of that nature. But we imagine ourselves as champions who have done something extraordinary. We see ourselves as heroes who have made sacrifices for the greater good. And that's what I did. I made sacrifices for the greater good. And it wasn't easy. It was a hard road. Nothing is easy in life. Nothing. But I worked my whole life. I worked since the age of 14. Remember those summer jobs?
Yes, yes, yes.
Remember that, you know, all of those summer jobs?
Yeah.
I worked those summer jobs until we couldn't work no more. What age was that? 18? I think it was about 18, yeah, about 18 when we couldn't work anymore.
Yes.
Right. And then we had to get a real job.
Yes.
You know, that's where, you know, the government take out taxes and all that stuff like that. Yeah, that's the reality of working. But working my whole life, I never imagined myself going to college. I remember when I was in high school, and I remember a few friends and a few teachers told me I couldn't go to college because I didn't have any money. And I believed them. I literally believed them. And it wasn't until 1999, I think it was, or 92, could have been, is when I entered the halls of Hudson County Community College. And I got to that college because I believe to this day that God drove me there. You see, the night before, I had got laid off from a job that I loved. I was a warehouse manager. Didn't know anything about working in a factory, didn't know anything about being a manager, but the manager of the retail store saw something in me. And she said, "Latrinda, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to hire you," and hired me right there on the spot. So I worked in this place for about 4 years. And I remember the day like if it was yesterday. She said, "Latrinda, we're going to close the store." And I just started crying. And the reason why I started crying because I just got tired of working and getting laid off all the time. I've never gotten fired from a job. But the job ended. It was just time to go. But she said, "We're going to take care of you. We're going to give you a severance package. Don't even worry about it." But that wasn't the problem. That wasn't the issue. The issue was, here I go again. Now I got to go find another job. And it wasn't until the next day I woke up and sat on my bed and I started crying like a baby. Crying. Because I was like, this can't be real. What is going on? And I remember getting dressed, and I remember walking out the building, and I remember going to the bus stop, getting on the bus, and somehow I winded through the doors of Hudson County Community College. Remember what I said? I was listening to friends and teachers were telling me I couldn't go to college, but that was in my head, clicking. Until I ran into a little old woman. And I swear to God, I believe that God placed that woman in my life. She was an angel. And she said to me, "Latrinda, why are you here?" I said, "I don't know." Because she asked my name. I said, "I don't know why I'm here." And I just started crying. She said, "Well, you're going to go to college." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm not going to college. I don't have no money. I can't go." And she said, "Don't even worry about it. Everything's going to be okay." And from that day on, that's how I entered into college. Graduated with my associate's degree in human services while working full time, while taking care of my 2 daughters. And then after that, I went on to New Jersey City University, where I earned my bachelor's degree in psychology. You see, all these things that I thought was impossible actually came into reality for me. And once again, it wasn't easy. It was a hard road. I didn't think I could make it. Because that was that little voice in my head telling me, "Nope, you're not going to finish. You ain't going to finish. You ain't going to finish." And I had to turn around and say, "You was a liar." "You are a big liar. I'm going to finish college. I need to finish college. Not just for me, but for my entire family." And it wasn't then after, I graduated, I started working for the county. I worked for the county at the Department of Family Services. This is the place where everybody's getting all their, Medicaid and food stamps and things like that. But you see, I always had a passion and a heart to help people. That has always been my forte, is helping people. Making sure that you're good. Making sure that whatever you need, I'm here to support you. And this is what I've been doing for the last, 32 years of my life. And I work hard. I know I work hard. Don't nobody have to tell me that. I know I work hard. I work 7 days a week. I get paid for 5. But I work 7 days a week because I work for you. So when somebody's calling me and saying they have no food, I'm on the phone trying to figure out how we're going to feed this family. I play no games when it comes to your life. Because I know what God has given me. He has blessed me. He has blessed me to be here with you all. He has blessed me to have good people in my life. I don't associate myself with negativity. You have no place in my life. I'm a positive person. So I'm encouraging you all to be those Olympians in your life. Help each other. Uplift each other. Forgive. We're walking around here with so much burden on our heart. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And I know it's not easy. But you see, I'm the type of person, I can forgive you in a heartbeat. Because you know why? I'm not going to carry around that baggage. I'm not doing it. It's not going to help me. So I need to be free from all of the negativity, all of the chaos, all of the drama. If you don't have a positive bone in your body, you have no place in my life. Because I'm about helping people. I'm about making sure you're good. I want to see smiles and laughter. I want to see people grow. And it's not easy to change. Trust me, I know. I've been there. But you know what? You take one day at a time. You surround yourself with people who care and love you. That's how you're going to get by. And you trust in yourself. You trust in God. If you're religion, then you know what I'm talking about. Oh, yes. There's no way any of us would be here right now if it wasn't for him waking each and every one of us up today. That's right. So what I'm asking you all is to be an Olympian in your life and in the lives of others. I give you my story, and that's where it's going to end. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This story was very inspiring. Knowing that you are an Olympian in your family. And I know that so many people have faced similar challenges. For myself, I was told that, okay, your first language is not English. You speak French, you have an accent, you will never be able to make it in America. But I have been able to make it in America. Yes. So don't believe the lies that the devil tells you. Because when there is a will, there is a way.
That's right.
So now we are going to thank our speakers for tonight. And I'm going to call Miss Sandra Smith to hand out the certificates.
Tyrone Huggins, please stand. We thank you for coming out and inspired. And we thank you because you were a person that I knew when you was little, next door to each other.
Exactly, yeah.
And I tell you, used to be in the hallway with my kids. So we appreciate you. We thank you, and you are a beautiful person.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Leo. I thank you, Leo. Like I said, I had met you when I came in housing, but you was always there. Like you said, you were for the people. You always have a kind word, a smile to show that you care about us in the Housing Authority. We thank you and we appreciate you.
I made it.
I can't believe that I made it.
Latrinda, girl, go way back. We thank you, and like I said, nobody can tell a story but you. And I know you went through, but you was there. When I worked in the hospital, you was there, and I always try to help you the best I can. And I like to help people, but I tell you, you give your story to the young and to the old. And it's something that people can overcome if they have the will. But always put God first in everything that you do. Because God will make a way and make room for you. And He will give you plenty. And see what you did? You made it. You made it. And you're still doing it. And I thank you because, like I said, when she helps people, she's in Jersey City. And when she needs help, I go over there and help her with her center, teaching kids, mothers and children, how to crochet, art. And I mean, we had a blast. But I thank you. Thank you for coming and sharing. We love you.
Thank you, Ms. Sandra. I just want to reiterate that this is going to be a recurring event. So we are going to have it every 3 months or every quarter. So if you know someone who you think can make a difference and speak to our youth, speak to our community, please don't hesitate to refer that person to us. And I'm going to ask one more thing. Is there anyone in 5 minutes or so who has a story to tell? A story of resilience. We got anyone? All right, so we are going to go straight to the food.
I'd just like to mention, I'd like to give, first of all, Corinne a good round of applause. And I'd like to say that we are going to get some good pictures of these folks, and we're going to start our Hall of Fame wall down at our office. So these are the first ones that are going to be up on our Hall of Fame wall. In closing, we've got food. Keep in touch with us. But before we go, how about a standing round of applause for our heroes? Let's socialize and have a bite to eat. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I want to have a cheese.